Hey ladies and gents, it's Zem back, and I'm going to go through these new tanks that just came out. We're going to start out with the Object 257, which is the new current Tier 9 tank that took over the spot from the T10. This was the original T10. This one actually came from, of course, the IS-3 line. Let's see the tech tree here. So this was the T10 was the original one in line to the IS-7. Now that's been replaced with the 257, so the IS-3 is going to split here from the 257 and also going to go to the 210, and then of course some new tanks are coming out shortly. So now if you guys remember the review I did on the Defender, you know that, well actually no, it starts with the IS-6. This was in the heavy tank competition. This wasn't going to work out, so they redesigned it. Come up with the 252U. 252U progressed into, of course, the 257. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to watch the video. It was a progression from the IS-6 to the original IS-6 was the 252. The Defender we have in game is the 252U, which was the redesign. That tank was not built either, but they used design components from that to develop the 257, which was the essentially prototype IS-7. Confused? I'm confused every time I go through this because it just wow Russia. So yeah, that's where we get this tank. Still a paper tank, never was built, but there was plans drawn up for it. So yeah, that's where we get this tank. So what do we get in game? Well, we get a 440 average damage per shot, 248 pen, 5.47 rate of fire, 10.97 reload time, 27 on the turret traverse speed, -5 degrees gun depression. Yeah, it sucks. Believe me, it really does suck. 2.72 aim time. Yep, Russian accuracy 0.38, and 2407 average damage per minute. I'm not gonna lie. I like this is easily a thumbs up tank. I still prefer my T10 over it. This doesn't quite have the armor that the 257 does, but it's got a significantly better mobility, at least in my opinion. So hit points 1900. Now the whole armor gets kind of wonky here. Now you have to really take a look at this thing. Yeah, see that wedge shaped right there? You know, so we got 130 on the whole armor, 130 on the side, 70 in the rear. Turret armor is of course 350. But here's where it gets kind of wonky, and this is what I'm going to bring up this. Yeah, here is the tank compare. See the green stuff on the top up here? Yeah, that's really easy to overmatch. Just like the IS-3, it has a piece of tin sitting on top of its gun. 80 millimeters armor. Yep, that's it. Of course, you have the two cupolas plus this, so if you can get a shot to line up on any of this, as long as you're not hitting the outside edges here, yeah, you're going to have a relatively easy time penning this top of this tank. Of course, here, if you're looking straight on with a pike nose, you're going to have a hell of a time. It's almost a auto ricochet here. Of course, lower plate's also weak. But just like every pike nose, when you start to turn it, you're going to see the pike nose stick out. This is a lot easier to pen. When it becomes kind of an issue, and we're going to turn this tank sideways, what I'm talking about. You know, I showed you the V-hull. Now, typically when you shoot a tank down in here, it's going to pen. Not with this tank. This is auto ricochet area right here. And even this area right in here is going to be auto ricochet, or it's not till you start getting up a little higher that you're starting to get the ability to pen the armor. I mean, just think about that. So literally everything from here to here is going to be either ricochet or it's going to be really tough to pen. Of course, once you get up in here, it's much easier to pen. But like I said, you're looking at a very small area along this hull that you have a chance to actually pen the tank. And I do believe this is spaced, so anything with a heat round, you're fucked. This is going to be all, you're going to have to be all APCR to go through this. So yeah, when you're shooting this tank on the side, make sure you're aiming high, because this down here is just automatic ricochet. It's crazy how that works, but you know, wargaming, right? So back to the tank. Mobility-wise, 55, 60 tons, 850 brake horsepower. Traverse speed's 42, top speed's about 50. Not bad. I mean, like I said, it's not T10 performance, but it's close enough that you can. It's better than the STI. You know, it's better than this one by a significant amount for mobility. But like I said, T10s seems to get up and move a little quicker. It just seems a little bit snappier. Maybe that's just my opinion, but to me it seems like it does. You know, I mean, the actual numbers aren't that far off from each other, but the T10 feels a little bit more mobile. Concealment, once again, you're out in the middle of anywhere, you're going to get spotted. Not a whole lot of concealment with heavy tanks, of course. 398 view range, and like I said, I don't really have much on here other than my approved ventilation. I don't even have 100% crew on it. I actually had to go dig this one out and start over with scratch for a new crew on this tank. So yeah, that's what we got in game. It's an interesting tank. If you haven't got it yet, you know, once again, I'm a big T10 fan, but to get to the IS-7, this is what you're going to have to go through now to get to the IS-7. So for the most part, yeah, you know, it's not a bad tank. I mean, it definitely does its job. Kind of a badass looking thing if you really look at it. Got that big nice pike nose, and of course you can, like I said, you can go through the history of it. IS-6, 252, 257, IS-7. Yeah, that's the history of it. So I'll bring up the replay for you guys to check out, and you guys have a good night. Hey, ladies and gents, and we are with the 257 in battle. This is Slough, Swamp, whatever you want to call it. This is actually the very first battle I had in the tank. Surprise, surprise, I didn't even put any camo on this damn thing yet. So, off to the races, to the usual spots. Usually I like to play the G-line as much as possible. No castle. Do not go castle, boys and girls. It's a bad place to go. Maneuverability on this thing is not bad. Got up to speed pretty decent. And, yeah, I'm not disappointed yet so far. You know, I'm a big T10 fan. That thing is, you know, obviously plays much more like a medium, so I was kind of hoping that this thing was going to be pretty similar to that. It's a little bit slower, doesn't quite have the mobility of the T10, but that's all right. So move on up into under the hill here, and we notice the T-54 off over here to the side, and we'll see what we're going to do here. We have a fair amount of tanks moving to the north. We're going to try to get down here under the hill here. I got a Conway, a Tortoise, and a T-95 moving up into position. So I'm not terribly worried about not getting any help if anybody decides to YOLO my ass here. Looking at the T-54 here. Oh, where you going, buddy? Oh, I get him in the track. Damn, Russian accuracy. Would have been a little bit bigger bloom. I probably would have had that. So I'm not going to stick around trying to poke on him. I got this Patton over here that's kind of just, yeah, he's hanging out here. 54 knows better. He's kind of stuck in a real bad spot there, and I was kind of hoping that he would eventually just come all the way around the hillside, but he's not interested in doing that. So I back up over here. Yep, there's the Patton. He's not really paying attention. I thought he would have saw me over here by now. Put the first shell in him for 443. Yeah, we're going to back up over here and see what we got. He actually does see me now this time. Put a second shell into him. And he's kind of, well, like I said, he's kind of stuck in a real bad spot there. But he does get me, finally, with an APCR round. I thought with that much, you know, angle that he probably wouldn't be able to do it. But he does actually pen me with the APCR from the Patton. Which is not unusual, I guess, because that is a pretty nice gun here. So, we knock out the majority of the zero line. We've pretty much got complete control of this. On the hills, this doesn't too bad. Of course, the gun depression sucks ass. So, you know, yeah, it's not the best. So I'm going to pull up here. We got the Conway, Henry from the future. I know I got an Object 257 over here, another T-54. So we're going to see what we can do. And I was kind of curious here. I never even actually really watched the replay here of what happens. I was assuming that since he was below me with that Conway, he was going to have a hard time penning me. And I'm actually kind of curious where he shoots me at. Oh, he did just up on just under. I didn't think he had my lip on that one, but so yeah, of course the underplate's always weak, especially when they I give them such a nice angle to shoot at. So back up to the T95 here, and I really don't want to get shot by him, but I like to get this Conway knocked out, and I'm just kind of waiting here for the Conway to fire, and he does. Yeah, pull over, finish him off. That leaves me the T95. The reload's not too bad, you know. This gun does remind me a fair amount of the T10's gun, so I wasn't terribly disappointed in that. Of course, the armor, like I said, the armor scheme is a little bit better than the T10, but it does lack on mobility compared to the T10. Spot the 53-55, and I'm waiting for this T95 to figure out what he's up to. Yeah, not too interesting. So 257 on the bottom, and it's time to push over it. I got plenty of tanks here to help me with. Bounce the MX 1390, and we're pushing. We're going to see what we can do here. 257's there, T95's there, E75's hanging out. Let's see what we can do here. Pull up here, and there we go. The side of his turret puts me at about 2600, and we got T95 in here, and apparently this other 257 had some spidey sense or something, because he moves just out of my way as I come up. Can't get the shot on the 257. He's moved all the way around, and I'm going to try to help out this other 257 that's currently getting his shit wrecked. So looking. Oh, come on. Was trying to go for a track, at least to stop him from moving, but didn't work out. Conway moves around, nails him in the rear. This 257, I get nailed in the rear from the other 257 because the T54 is not paying attention. Put one in his lower plate, puts me up about 3K. And now I'm going to try to move around behind this 257 so he doesn't shoot me in the ass. Or the other one that was actually was shooting me in the ass. That's what's the problem with you. Well, assuming that your mediums were going to deal with that 257 and not let him come up behind you. So, sitting about 3K. You know, like I said before, I'm not the mobility part of it isn't so bad, but you know, you play the tier, you get so used to playing the T10, and you know, and this is kind of a mix between the STI and the T10 for mobility. I like the armor scheme, and the gun isn't too bad here, you know, because here I'm gonna be, yeah, I'm on the move, I'm driving, yeah, Russian accuracy. So. Finish off the AMX 1390 and puts me up about 3,500 damage. Yeah, nice first game.